Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 12th of January, 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan, Paramatma, residing in the heart of every being. Today, I want to try to expand on the concept of Aksharbrhman in relation to the individualized vasanas that we carry all the time. So there are two concepts we're going to try to connect today. And that is the connection between the concept of vasana and Aksharbrhman. Let's go into it slowly and carefully. So in Vedanta Tattvagnan, the concept of vasanas is that they are subtle impressions or latent tendencies that are present inside our causal body. So these impressions and mental tendencies are formed through repeated actions, repeated thoughts, and repeated experiences across multiple lifetimes. Let's be clear about this point. How many lifetimes does the Vedantic Darshan talk about? Vedantic Darshan meaning Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad. This is Prastantraya. This is the root of Vedanta. It is stating, the Rishi Parampara, through their Anubhav and realization, have stated that we have multiple lifetimes. We meaning the Atma Tattva, not just this lifetime. So in those lifetimes, so many different actions have been taken. Karma has been done. Repeated actions, repeated thought patterns, emotional patterns, experiences across lifetimes, they accumulate inside the causal body, and they create the tendencies and impressions that we call vasana. Vasanas can be of all kinds. They can be related towards higher consciousness, God. They can be related towards lower types of experiences, sadvasana, asadvasana, so many, and everything in between, right? So many possibilities are there. These latent impressions shape an individual's desires, preferences, and behaviors. 3 points. The latent impressions that because of which we are born. We are born into the mother's womb again because of vasana. If we don't have any vasanas and we have realized the Atma, there's no more rebirth. That is mukti, that is moksha. As long as vasanas exist, then there is definitely rebirth, right? So this is the basic point. Now, these vasanas are latent impressions that we have. These are desires, ichha, preferences, likes and dislikes, and all kinds of behaviors, creating karmic conditioning that binds the soul to the cycle of sansara, birth and death. The soul is bound inside the sansara chakra, because of the karmic, the conditioning, right? To break this, there's a direct path and there's a very long path. There are two paths. The direct path is to hold the Mahavakya, the great utterances of the Upanishads inside the mind and just stay with that. Don't move away from it. What is the Mahavakya? Tattvamasi, I am that Brahman. I am not these vasanas. ये शरीर भी मैं नहीं हूं, ये वासना भी मैं नहीं हूं, कोई इच्छा भी मैं नहीं हूं, मैं केवल भगवान का हूं, बस पूरा. और इसमें ही रहना. Never come out of it. Direct path of realization. Within few days, one would be realized. One would be enlightened. It doesn't take that much time. If we can stay with that. Sachin might say, yes, Aksharamaham, Purushottama Dasosmi, Brahmoham, Krishna Dasosmi. I can quote these. I can hold that for maybe a few hours. Maybe a few minutes only. Few hours. And then the old vasanas come up and they deflect us away from the holding continuously of the Mahavakya. That is why it is called Mahavakya. Let's be very clear. There are 6 Mahavakyas. What are they? Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Pragnananam Brahma, Soham, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, and Aham Brahmasmi. These are called the 6 Mahavakyas from the Upanishads. That's all. You don't need anything else. We don't need anything other than this for realization. No other Shastra ki bhi jarur nahi hai. Kuch bhi jarur nahi hai. That is why it is called Mahavakya. Who am I? I am the infinite consciousness. मैं ब्रह्म हूँ, मैं दिव्य हूँ, मैं अक्षर हूँ. Or in the Bhakti Sampradayas, they've added one more piece to this. भगवान का भक्त हूँ, भगवान का दास हूँ. Just 2 points. I am Brahman, or in that Brahmic state, that Brahman is the das of Parabrahma, is the sevak of Parabrahma. इसको कहते हैं स्वामी सेवक भाव. In the Vishishtadvait, Shuddhadvait, Brahma Vishishtadvait, all the different paramparas that have come after Advait Vedanta. Advait Vedanta stops here. I am Brahman. The Acharyas that came after Shankaracharya ji took it a step further, that Parabrahma Tattva hai, unke saath nirantar upasna rakhni chahiye. And this is what Swaminarayan Bhagwan ka jo main point yehi hai. Aksharam aham nijatmanam brahmarupam dehatraya vilakshanam vibhavetena kartavya bhakti krushnasya sarvada. So this is a direct path. We have 2 options. The Bhagavad Gita shows that long-winded path also. Bahunam janmanam ante gyanavanam prapaddate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. At the end of millions of lives, that realization comes that the Paramatma is the only reality. And I am part of that reality. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Such a person is rare indeed. But there's a back door. There's another approach. We have a choice. Sachin is speaking only for Sachin, this mind. There's a choice at any given point. Do we want to take millions of lives still? Or do we want to finish it this time? Pura hi karna hai. Kya karna hai? Keep spinning in the sansar chakra because of vasanas. Keep spinning with ashubh vasana, shubh vasana, ashubh vasana. ये सब जितनी शुभ अशुभ, गीता जी में क्या लिखा है? शुभा अशुभ परित्यागी. शुभ और अशुभ से पर आत्म तत्व है. Shubh are the positive tendencies. Sachin says, I want to help a lot of poor people in the world. It's a good thing, right? It's punyam. That will also cause rebirth. Doesn't mean you shouldn't help other people, but help them with nishkam bhav, that Bhagwan is doing it, not you are doing it. We are an instrument of thy peace, as Saint Francis of Assisi beautifully stated. He's a Franciscan monk. You know, the prayer of Saint Francis, very famous and beautiful. Oh Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. I'm just an instrument. That's what Krishna Bhagwan is telling Arjun. You're just a nimitta. Aap ek nimitta hai. You don't think you're doing anything. So even when we do shubh karma, that can cause binding. Shubh karma karna hi chahiye. But that should be offered to God, that you are doing it, I'm just an instrument. I'm not holding that inside of me that I'm doing this. Otherwise, that will cause rebirth. The Shubh Karma will cause rebirth. And of course, that will cause Shubha Vasana. That I want to help 10,000 people come out of their suffering. Bhagwan says, you want to help 10,000 people? I'll give you another 10, 20, 30, 50 births. Aapko kya chahiye? Aapko yahi chahiye? You get that. Yes, even one very great Swaminarayan sadhu said this, explained this to me years back. Mahakaran sharir. ये भी interesting बात है. मुक्तों की वासना. अभी जो मुक्त हो गए उनको भी क्या किस प्रकार की वासना है? Because they have seen God. They wind up having desire, their own desire, that they want to come back in the sansar to help millions of people cross back into moksha. वो भी एक वासना है. That will also cause rebirth. Sometimes you cannot stop that because that enlightenment is like that. But the highest category of liberated being is beyond Shubha Vasana, Ashubha Vasana, and does not have Mahakaran Sharir. Mahakaran Sharir means I want to help thousands and thousands of people reach moksha. Not that because of ahankar, because of karuna, compassion, but that is still your wish. Then God says, you have that wish, I'll send you another 1,000 times into the sansar. and keep taking people across. ऐसे भी संत आते हैं. They come back again and again and again to keep pulling people. And all they do is just akhand satsang, bhajan, kirtan, and they keep helping people out, and they keep getting reborn again and again and again. Something new, may not have heard this before. ऐसी सत्य बात है. इसको महाकारण शरीर कहते हैं. कितनी amazing बात है ये सब. But the highest category of liberated being does not have the महाकारण शरीर. भगवत इच्छा से, परमात्मा की इच्छा से जो मुक्त आते हैं यहाँ, that is different matter. Then they're not coming by their will, they're coming by thy will, by the will of the Lord. वो एक completely अलग बात है. And they are protected, and because they are coming by the will of the Lord, they do not get stuck in Maya. Because they're not coming by their own will. If a mukta who is liberated, mukta meaning a liberated soul who has reached the abode of God, comes back into the sansar to help others, that individual can get trapped inside the sansar. Bhagwan ki krupa aisi hoti hai कि that doesn't happen generally, but it can happen. And the individual can degrade back into a stone-like consciousness and be trapped for billions of lifetimes. Itna danger hai ye sansar mein. Even a liberated being who has causal mahakaran sharir, who has come into the sansar by his or her own, by its own wish to liberate people, can get stuck inside for billions of lifetimes. Just imagine, तो बाकी ordinary person की क्या दशा है? वो तो निकल ही नहीं सकते इसमें से. कभी जीवात्मा has never come out of this Mahamaya. According to the Panch Bhed Tattva Jnana and Vachanamrut. And I know I'm talking a little bit thoda high level ki baat hai, but if you want to know more about it, we'll talk individually sometime. Anybody listening to this. But I want to get it recorded anyway. It's difficult to understand these things. We don't realize कि हमारे अंतकरण में अनंत प्रकार की वासना है. इसका कोई अंत नहीं है. बिल्कुल अंत नहीं. So we can take a direct path, one step realization. जो बड़े बड़े संत हैं उनकी स्थिति के साथ एकाग्रता और महावाक्य जो bring that insight that I am Brahman. मैं वासना मेरे में है ही नहीं. एक ही इच्छा है भगवान प्रसन्न हो जाए. Prasannata means what? To live in the light of the Lord, light of God. That's fine. That much is necessary. That Bhagavat Prasannata doesn't mean like, getting material things. Those things may come and go. It's just that one is acting in the light of God. But if one doesn't even do that, says, I don't want to have any desire, the mind will degrade into tamas. This is written also in Vachanamrut. If I say I don't want any desire, कोई वासना ही नहीं, कोई इच्छा ही नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं करना, भगवान को भी प्रसन्न नहीं कर, भगवान जैसा कुछ है, what will happen? The mind will degrade into तमोगुण. इसीलिए महाराज क्या कहते, श्रीजी महाराज, he's made it very clear. He said, keep one vasana. Keep one, not vasana, but one ichha. One ichha, Bhagwan, Bhagvat Prasannata. Whatever is being done is being done to please Paramatma, Bhagwan. Then there is no binding. There is karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, sab yoga usme aa gaye. Very interesting. Now, when we resonate with the Mahavakyas, Aksharam Aham means what? Aham Brahmasmi, same thing. That it's the 6 Mahavakyas. If you put them all together, it comes into just 2 words. Aksharam Aham. Soham Pragnananam Brahma means the intelligence is Brahman. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, that every tattva is Brahman. This enlightened stage. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Tattvamasi, thou art that. Who are we? We are that tattva, not this. If you put all this together, we are Nitya, we are Shuddha, we are Buddha, and we are Muktatma. There are 4 points. Nitya meaning eternal. Eternally existing. The Atma Tattva is eternally existing, what the Gita is teaching us. Atma Tattva doesn't come and go. Atma Tattva is not even born. Bodies come and go. And if we are liberated, there is no more birth in the sansar. Brahmando mein आना नहीं पड़ता. नहीं तो ब्रह्मांड में आना पड़ेगा. इसीलिए भगवान कृष्ण क्या कहते हैं, एकाकी यतचित आत्मा अपरिग्रह निराशः, एकांत में रहना, किसी के साथ बंधन रखना ही नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, नॉट इन द स्लाइटेस्ट, प्रेम रखना, सबके साथ प्रेम, किसी के साथ बंधन नहीं। इसको क्या कहते हैं, वैराग्य और भक्ति का कॉम्बिनेशन। Even if you have a bird at home, we used to have, when we were growing up, we used to have parakeets at home. You'd be surprised. This is my own experience. You know, now we don't have them now, but years back when we were growing up, sometimes, it doesn't happen now, but it used to happen. In the dream, you'll see the bird sometimes. The bird is sitting on the finger doing this. Ye sab kya hai? Because there's still some wanting of that experience. And if the mind is attached to that, Bhagwan kaise aapko itni आसक्ति है पक्षी में, आप बन जाओ पक्षी। किस में आसक्ति है? अंते यामति ही सागति. If you are a student of Vachanamrut, Garada Pratham 14, that's the reference. Look it up sometime. We don't have time to cover all this every day here. I'm just giving you some points here, and you can go into some recordings in that. Ante Yamati Sagati, Vedo में लिखा है. Shriji Maharaj has given that reference in Garada Pratham 14, Ante Yamati Sagati. हमारा मन कहाँ है? जहां हमारा मन है, वो वहां ही गति होगी। इसीलिए भगवान कृष्ण कॉन्स्टेंटली कहते हैं गीता जी में, कीप अटेंशन ऑन मी, ओनली ऑन मी, मयि आवेश मनोये माम नित्य युक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास ते में युक्त तमा मताः। Bhagavad Gita chapter 12. We'll cover sometime by the will of the Lord. I want to cover all, पूरी गीता cover करनी. We want to do so many things. You know? See, ये भी एक इच्छा है, but as a सेवा. किसी को कुछ कहना नहीं. It's not about Sachin telling. I have to be very aware of that thing, you know. That Sachin is trying to tell somebody. No, it's just आनंद. भगवान का जो आनंद लेना है बस और बांटना है. प्रसादम. Not because Sachin is saying something. Sachin is not saying anything. This is in the scriptures. ये सब संतों की सब बात है. हम तो उनके चरण में, हम तो उनके चरण रज तुल्य भी नहीं है. इतने महान संत है वो. These are so great, amazing beings that have come. उनकी बात तो बहुत अलग बात है. We are just doing sadhana. किस झाड़ की पत्ती? It's that kind of ऐसी situation है. But whatever is there in the scriptures, given by the grace of God, भगवान की इच्छा, keep talking about it. Keep expressing it. Every human being should do bhajan kirtan. Every human being should read the scriptures. Every human being should talk about the script. Sachin is talking about them. I would encourage everybody to talk about them. You'll be surprised what happens if you take even one verse of the Gita, try to explain it. Make a recording like this and just try to explain it to the world. It's not that we're explaining to the world, we're explaining to ourselves. If we take one concept, something like this thing about the Aksharbrhman, or these are a little bit high-level ideas, but things like Sistita Pragnata or Man Ki Shuddhi, take one small idea and try to make some notes and try to explain it. It will become more clear to oneself only. That is the power of expressing Brahma Vidya, because it becomes more and more solidified and clear to the one who is expressing it. It's one thing to listen to others, which is also necessary. Listening to all others is good, it's important, and then also express. You know, it's like this. If we're going to listen to bhajans, we can listen to somebody else doing bhajan, but we can also sing the bhajan. वो अलग बात है. Okay? So these are the things to keep in mind. There's a lot of amazing stuff to be said about this. Just one more point, then we'll close. I know I've gone a little over time here. Just one more point. One cannot realize Aksharbrhman while being entangled in the web of vasanas. वासना क्या है? ये जाल है, माया जाल. हम कहते हैं माया जाल, ये वासनाओं का जाल है. The subtle impressions create mental impurities that cloud the perception of the Atma. Mental impurities, मानसिक शुद्धि, बहुत important बात है इसमें. So the process of vasana kshaya, K-S-H-A-Y, it's called the dissolution of vasana, is essential for spiritual progress and involves the three things, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. इसका combination आ जाएगा, कर्म योग, भक्ति योग, ज्ञान योग, which is the Bhagavad Gita. If you split the Gita into three parts, 1/3 is karma yoga, 1/3 is jnana yoga, 1/3 is bhakti yoga. When you combine it together, तो इसमें क्या होता है? It becomes a progressive प्यूरिफिकेशन, अंतकरण शुद्धि हो, अंतकरण शुद्ध बन जाता है, अंतकरण फिर शुद्ध में से दिव्य बन जाता है, as we have said before, वो दिव्य बन जाता है। दिव्यता शुद्धता से पर है। Mind can become pure, but when the purity, which is sattva gun, it moves by the grace of God, by krupa, into divyata, शुद्ध में से दिव्य की जो स्थिति है, वहां सब वासना का नाश हो जाता है। Which श्लोक is that? विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोपेस्य परम दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते, भगवद गीता। And the exposition of that shlok, Sadguru Nishkolanand Swami has given, Tyaganata kere vairagya veena kariye koti upayaji. That entire series of lines, we'll look at that some other time, with Gandhiji included into his series of poems of Nishkolanand Swami also. That is an exposition on this verse, Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehina, Rasavarjam Rasopesya, Param Društva Nivartate. In that Param Društva Nivartate, Vasanas obliterate, and only the Paramatma actually remains. Then there is no more entanglement, no more rebirth, no more problems, no more coming back and forth into the sansar again, and taking birth in different species, different yonis. It stops. So with that, let's do our closing mantra. Om Dhyana Mulam Gurur Murti Mantra Mulam Gurur Vakyam Puja Mulam Gurur Padam Moksha Mulam Gurur Kripa Om Divilingaya Namaha Urdhav Lingaya Namaha Ananda Lingaya Namaha Dvadash Jyotir Lingaya Namo Namaha Om Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaya Viche Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanya Trimbake Gauri Narayani Namostate Om Kara Charana Kritam Va Kayajam Karmajam Va Shravanajam Va Manasam Va Paradam Vitam Vitam Va Sarva Meta Shamasva जय जय करुणाब्दे श्री महादेव शंभो। ओम ह्रीं स्वाहा। ओम दुर्गे 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 रक्षिणी ठ ठ स्वाहा। ओम श्री राधा कृष्णार्पणमस्तु।